Hello my friends and welcome to episode 7 of our Football Manager 2021 Let's Play with Rangers. A couple of things first. One, this is not the title decider, I promised. I will explain why in a minute. And two, I apologise if you hear some noise outside. They're doing some work and I basically have 20 minutes to record this episode or we have no Monday episode, so I'm kind of forcing this in. That is not why this isn't a title decider episode, however. Well, since the last game, I can go into this. So the last game was the Betfred Cup final. Now, where was that? That was here. So then we played St Mirren. We won 2-0, Goulton and Hadji with the goals before we beat Livingston 4-0. Hadji with a brace, Kent and Kamar Roof on the score sheet. We then played Motherwell. We won 4-2. Morelos, Hadji, Kent and Roof on the score sheet before we played Celtic. We won 4-1, Ryan Kent, Tavernier from the spot, Morelos and David Turnbull got one for them before Roof sealed off the rout. A big win there before we beat Dundee 6-0. And this is where we won the title. Now, I would have recorded this game if I knew there was any possibility of us winning the title, but the game gave me no warning. Basically, what had to happen is, and you won't believe me, Celtic had to lose to Ross County, of all people, and we had to beat Dundee United for us to win the title. The first time that I knew that there was a potential to win the title, we were lifting the trophy presentation at the end of the game. So Hollander got us a brace to get us off with. Missed a couple of big chances for his hat-trick actually. Joe Aribo scored, Stephen Kelly getting his first goal for the club, Josh McPake getting his first goal for the club, and Ryan Kent all on the score sheet before we then beat Arbroath. A fairly routine 6-0 with a fairly rotated side, or at least as rotated as I can. If we go back to the Motherwell game, as you see here, I gave Jamie Hamilton his debut. He got injured. George Edmondson's picked up an injury. So basically the central defence was kind of forced on me of, I have to play Goldson and Hollander right now. Balogun's trying to get up to fitness in the reserves. Unfortunately some of those games clashed, so I couldn't play him. Nico Katic is back, but obviously not fit, and then he's picked up another knock, so I think he's out for another 3-4 weeks. So I think we are down to literally 3 central defenders right now, of which one of them is not matching match fitness himself. But Stephen Kelly got a goal, Jermaine Defoe got a brace, Josh McPake got another one, and Ryan Kent came off the bench and got a brace as well for a routine 6-0 win. So now that I've explained that, we go back to Celtic, we click on that, as you'll see they lost here to Ross County 2-1, a late Ollie Shaw brace getting County a win and handing us the title. So this would have been the title decider, this game here, which is why I came back for this one, plus it's Aberdeen at home. It kind of gives us a bit of a break, I felt, but I just wanted to, one, get an episode out for today, and two, apologise that it's not a title decider, we have won the league. So record wise, we already have the most goals scored in a season. I think, I'm not sure, goals conceded, I'm sure the record might be 18, so that might have already gone, unfortunately. But I believe if Alan McGregor gets 3 more clean sheets this season in the last 5 games, that'd be the equaling the record, so you need 4 to beat it basically. So hopefully we can do that. But again, not holding my breath. Barisic on 18 assists, by the way. 18. Absolute craziness. Yanis Hadji, our top goal scorer. Alfredo Morelos, second top goal scorer, not surprisingly. And Barisic, most player of the matches. Ryan Jack, most yellow cards. Kind of standard stuff with that. But we're going to now skip the pitch side with Aberdeen. I will see you there. We've got a fairly youthful looking bench here. Now that's not by design. I want to go and get the unbeaten treble. Now we've got the Scottish Cup final, which will be against Celtic. That will be next episode, of course. And we've got 5 games left in the league to remain unbeaten. But really, just injuries and suspensions has kind of forced my hand here. So we've got McLaughlin in because we played a cup game last time and I forgot to switch the goalkeeper again. We've got Tavernier, Goulton, Hollander, Barisic, Stephen Kelly, Kamara, Roof, Aribo, Kent and Morelos. Ryan Jack is suspended. He was 1 yellow away from suspension, so I didn't play him in the cup game. So Kamara's played both. We've got a bench of McGregor, Patterson, Balogun, Jones, who Kai Kennedy and Yanis Hadji are recovering for injuries, so he's made the bench. Sangu, Barjonas, as I said, Ryan Jack suspended. Who was it that's picked up a knock? Josh McPake's picked up an knock, so I've gave Richie Holzer a bench slot for him. Calvin Bassey, of course, and Tony Weston just for a striker sub rather than Jermaine Defoe, to be honest. Although Defoe obviously played well against Arbroath. Aberdeen's a fairly big step up. So we're getting into today's game. We're going to go with where's the fans one, because this is a rivalry and we're at home, so I was expecting a bigger reaction than that, guys. Not quite worked out, but hey ho, let's get into this game. We're going to skip ahead. If my phone goes off, guys, I do have to quickly reply to that. I've got my little one arriving very, very soon, and I need to keep an eye on it. So that's why I've got basically so little time to record this right now, because I won't have time later on today before the sort of 6 PM release time. As Ryan King comes in, hits the post early on. Stephen Kelly been a revelation since coming in. Really glad that we recalled him. Has he been better than what Lewis Ferguson was in the beta? No, Lewis Ferguson is no longer achievable. The price that I would have been happy to pay, Arsenal paid and got him. It was very frustrating. So he is away from Aberdeen. We're not going to be able to get him unless obviously Arsenal sell him, in which case they'll be overpricing. It's Alfredo Morelos opens the goal scoring here. Looking towards the summer, basically our entire team is wanted by big clubs. This could be a rebuild job, guys, in the summer, and I think I'm looking at this and thinking to myself, and I've spoken to a few other people who have had similar, and you know, I was reading Bad Jokes blog earlier on. Go check that out, by the way, if you haven't already seen it, after you've seen the video, of course. That's my phone going off. So little one's on his way now, so we need to get through this game quickly. But yeah, basically, I was reading that blog. He sold £160 million worth of players. Now, I'm not going to get 20 million for Edmundson, for example. I don't see that happening. He played Edmundson more than I have. Obviously, I had Europa League football and stuff. But at the same time, I'm looking at players like Barisic and I'm thinking, do you know what? 30 million. We've got Bassey. We've got Maxwell coming back. It might be worth cashing in on these kind of guys. You know, youthing the side, bring in maybe a couple of, you know, Startling qualities coming in here, there, and places. And we do have guys that can come in and do that. You know, certainly Nico could come almost straight into our midfield again if we can get that work permit onto him. I've accepted that transfer without a work permit, and there's another one that I accepted without. And there's another couple that I am trying to make moves for. You know, the likes of Eric Garcia, who you'll remember from the Barcelona save, slotted straight in my Barcelona team. Now, was he better than PK? No, but he could have been better than PK. And he was done a fairly good job. It's a good free kick there from Barisic. So I'm looking at players like that and thinking to myself, would it be the worst thing in the world if we sold Goldson for 20 million, 25 million and brought in Eric Garcia, who, talking of Goldson, 12 goals for this season, absolutely unbelievable. So, you know, would it be the worst thing in the world to sell him, have Eric Garcia for a few seasons, you maybe get another, 20, 30, 40 million for him, and then that's probably about the right time that Leon King takes over anyway, and you know, it just creates that revolving door effect, doesn't it? So I'm kind of looking around all of that. Aribo's wanted, Morelos is wanted, Barisic, Hollander, Tavernier, Roof, you know, all these guys, realistically we could lose our entire first team on big money, or money that I think this would be good enough to accept. So whether we do or not is a different story. Obviously a lot of this interest was there in January, and the only clubs that bid were from China, and it was nowhere near. So I think what's going to happen in January is I'll maybe offer, you know, out. We've not got in the summer rather. We've not got a huge amount of money because we had no Europa League. I think we're 10 million in debt right now, which is massive. We've obviously had no major sales yet. Excuse me. So the board have only gave me £700,000 to spend. So I can't really do any preemptive signings. It's going to be very much a reactive window. I've spoken about them in the past, you know, that Joe Aribo, that is absolutely shocking from a very, very good goalkeeper in Joe Lewis there, but I'm not going to complain if Joe Aribo puts us free up. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, it'll be more of a reactive window, and I mentioned one of those in the Barcelona save, the January of the second season. I had what I would call a reactive window, which is where you're only buying when you're selling. Now we can sprinkle that with, you know, you sell Goldson for 25 million. I'm not going to spend 25 million replacing Goldson. So I could then maybe bring in, one replacement and a couple of kids which are going to the academy, and then they're the future replacement for somebody else, or for the replacement of Goldson kind of thing. That's what I'm kind of wanting to do, and that's how we're going to use this to build the budget. Now, not every player that we buy is going to work out, particularly the young players. As Morelos misses an absolute sitter. A lot of these young players might not develop. Some of them might not. It's kind of going to go from there. But I think, we need to keep an eye on it all and see how things go. Overall, I'm fairly content with the team. If we don't get the bids, I'm happy. There's a couple of players that I would sell. As I mentioned in January, I would probably sell Arfield if there's interest. Again, just getting money in for an aging player who's not going to play. Defoe and Greg Stewart aren't going to get their contracts renewed, for example. McGregor has another year in his contract, and that's fine, because that gives me a chance to look at him, and I look at young McCrory, maybe try and loan John McLaughlin out, make sure he's still getting games, because I wouldn't mind, if we could keep him around as our backup goalkeeper, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. If not, we can maybe look to the youth side, see if Jay Hogarth's ready to come up and be a backup goalkeeper. I don't think he will be. Or we could maybe look at signing someone like Liam Kelly, who would fill homegrown criteria without, hopefully breaking the bank. So there is options that we can do stuff like that. Here is Stephen Kelly, namesake, no relation of course, is can't get into Aribo. That's a brace. Another poor one from Joe Lewis. I wonder if Aribo was just too close for him to react. We are going to make a sub, and I am going to bring on Richie Holster for his debut, and I'll bring on Tony Weston as well. We're 4-0 up, let's give the kids some run out. I want to give them run outs in this final sort of run, but I don't want to put the unbeaten record at risk in doing so. Jamie Burjonis is another one who will leave in the summer. I'm not going to renew his contract. Simply put, I don't think he is going to develop into a player that's going to trouble the first team. He is handy to have around, but I think maybe promoting an Alex Lowry and giving Alex Lowry the same sort of role that Burjonis has played this season, as the same sort of emergency backup, if you like, would be better, because I think Alex Lowry would benefit from that, and he would be trouble in the first team in a couple of years' time. Whereas I don't think Burjonis is ever going to trouble the first team right now, based on his performances haven't been too bad, I'll be honest with you, but based on stats and ability, I think it would just be a back step keeping him around, although he would help out with homegrown contingent. One guy who was considered was Kieran Dixon. He made his debut in real life, of course, yesterday against Falkirk. He's only 2.5 star potential, and I went to say, do you know what, I'll give him a renewal and see how he develops. Aberdeen beat us to it, and they have signed him on a pre-contract, so I've obviously just looked at the potential and went no previously, and I think there's a couple of players like that I kind of regret not making contract renewals for. But we've won this game 4-0, which is good. So next episode, as I said, will be the Scottish Cup final as we look to complete the treble. I think that's not the last game of the season this season. I think there's a couple of games after it. There is indeed Motherwell and Ross County. Oh, Celtic double header. So we'll go play the Dundee United game, play the second Old Firm game. I will be back for the Scottish Cup final, and then after that will be the end of season review. Hopefully we can remain unbeaten for that period of time. Thank you all guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series. If you do, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, leave some comments down below, and I'll hopefully catch you all next time.